The myth of originality. There's a young artist sitting in his room late at night, staring at a blank page. He's scrolling through Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, watching other people create, musicians, filmmakers, designers, writers. And with every scroll, a familiar thought hits him. Everything's already been done. That artist could be any of us. A YouTuber, a writer, a student, a dreamer trying to make something meaningful in a noisy world. We've all felt that sense of paralysis, the belief that originality is impossible. But then comes Austin Kleon, a writer, an artist, and a creative soul, who says, you don't need to be original. You just need to be authentic. Because, as he writes in his book Steal Like an Artist, nothing is original. What a good artist understands is that all creative work builds on what came before. In this video, we're diving into the 10 rules of creativity from Steal Like an Artist. Lessons that will help you unlock your own creative flow, no matter what you do. By the end, you'll realize creativity isn't about inventing something from thin air. It's about connecting dots in your own way. Rule 1. Steal like an artist. Austin begins with the biggest myth about creativity, originality. He says, every artist gets asked the question, where do you get your ideas? The honest answer is, I steal them. Now, don't misunderstand. He doesn't mean plagiarism. He means that great artists collect ideas, remix them, and turn them into something new. He tells the story of how David Bowie once said, the only art I'll ever study is stuff that I can steal from. Bowie took inspiration from different cultures, sounds, and people, not to copy them, but to create something uniquely his own. Austin says, you are a mashup of what you choose to let into your life. If you love filmmakers like Christopher Nolan, musicians like Ed Sheeran, or writers like George Orwell, then your work will naturally become a remix of all those influences filtered through you. It's like taking a dozen puzzle pieces from different boxes and creating a completely new picture. So instead of worrying about being original, focus on being honest. Steal from the things that move you, study them deeply, and then create something that feels like you. Rule 2. Don't wait until you know who you are to get started. There's this idea that you should find yourself before you begin. But Austin says that's the wrong approach. He writes, you don't have to look like your heroes to do the work they do. You just have to start doing it. When he was starting out, Austin wanted to be like his favorite writers and artists, but he didn't know who he was yet. So, he began by imitating them. He drew comics like Linda Barry, wrote poems like his favorite poets, and experimented. Eventually, through imitation, he found his own voice. It's like how musicians start by covering other people's songs. The Beatles began by performing songs from other artists before writing their own. By doing so, they discovered their sound. Austin's message is simple. You don't need to know your identity before creating, because creating is how you find your identity. Start now. Imitate, experiment, evolve. Rule 3. Write the book you want to read. One of the most practical lessons in the book is this. If there's something missing in the world that you wish existed, create it yourself. When Austin started writing Steal Like an Artist, he didn't find a creative book that spoke his language, short, direct, visual, and simple. So he wrote one himself. That's what J.K. Rowling did with Harry Potter. She created the kind of magical world she wanted to read about as a child. The message is timeless. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for someone else to make the thing you wish existed. Be the one to do it. Ask yourself, what's the YouTube channel you wish someone else had made? What's the story, product, or design you wish you could experience? Now go and create that. Rule 4. Use your hands. In today's digital world, we spend hours staring at screens. But Austin reminds us, creativity isn't just in your head, it's in your hands. He says, computers are great for editing ideas, but not for generating them. When you physically draw, write, build, or craft, you connect more deeply with your imagination. It's why people often get their best ideas while cooking, gardening, or taking a walk, not while scrolling. Austin had what he called a digital desk for editing and an analog desk for creating. At his analog desk, he'd draw, write with markers, paste ideas on the wall. There's something magical about working with your hands. It brings your creativity to life. So step away from your keyboard sometimes. Grab a pen, a sketchbook, or even sticky notes, and make things real. Rule 5. Side projects and hobbies are important. Sometimes, our best ideas come from the things we do just for fun. Austin tells the story of how one of his side hobbies, blackout poetry, became his biggest success. He used to take old newspapers and black out most of the words, leaving behind poetic lines. It started as a playful experiment, but it turned into his signature style, published in books and exhibitions. That's the beauty of side projects. They're free from pressure. No deadlines, no expectations, just pure curiosity. Many creators found breakthroughs this way. Steve Jobs' love for calligraphy led to Apple's clean design. Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, created Atlanta while exploring his creative range outside music. So, don't underestimate the things you do on the side. They often reveal your truest voice. Rule 6. The secret: do good work and share it with people. This might be the most actionable advice in the book. Austin says, if your work is good and you share it, people will find you. You don't need to chase fame, followers, or algorithms. Focus on your craft first, then put it out into the world. Austin began posting small drawings and poems online every day. No marketing strategy, just consistency and honesty. People started noticing, sharing, and connecting with his work. That's how Steal Like an Artist was born, from years of quietly showing up and sharing. So, do your work and share it. Don't overthink it. Let your audience find you naturally through authenticity. Rule 7. Geography is no longer our master. There was a time when where you lived determined your opportunities. But the internet changed that. Austin says, surround yourself with books and people online that feed your soul. Today, you don't need to move to New York, LA, or London to make it as an artist. Your community can be global, connected through shared interests, not geography. He encourages us to create a virtual studio, a space online where you learn, connect, and grow with others. Follow your favorite creators. Join conversations. Be part of digital circles that inspire you. Because your location no longer limits you, your curiosity does. Rule 8. Be nice. The world is a small town. Austin writes, make friends, ignore enemies. In creative fields, jealousy and ego can easily creep in. But he reminds us that the creative world is small. Everyone crosses paths eventually. He tells the story of how he admired one of his artistic heroes, but never imagined they'd meet. Years later, because he was kind and open online, that very person reached out to him. The takeaway? Be generous. Be curious about others' work. Compliment genuinely. Because success in creativity isn't just about talent, it's also about relationships. Rule 9. Be boring. It's the only way to get work done. Creativity sounds glamorous, but real artists know it's mostly routine. Austin says, take care of yourself. Stay out of debt. Keep your day job if you need to. Establish habits that make room for your art. He explains that being boring in your personal life gives you freedom in your creative life. It's about balance, not burnout. Look at Stephen King. He writes every single morning without fail. Or Taylor Swift, who writes and archives songs daily, even when touring. The world romanticizes chaos, but creativity thrives on stability. So be disciplined. Be consistent. Let your art live inside a structure you can rely on. Rule 10. Creativity is subtraction. This final rule is about simplicity. Austin says, in the end, creativity isn't about adding more. It's about removing distractions so the important things can shine. Think about Steve Jobs and Apple. Every product was designed with minimalism in mind. Or filmmakers who shoot with limited equipment, forcing themselves to be resourceful. Constraints breed creativity. Austin himself often limited his color palette, tools, and time. The less he had, the more inventive he became. It's a powerful reminder. You don't need more tools, ideas, or resources. You need focus. The true meaning of Steal Like an Artist. At the end of the book, Austin leaves us with one simple truth. Creativity isn't about being a genius. It's about being brave enough to begin. He writes, draw the art you want to see, start the business you want to run, play the music you want to hear, write the books you want to read. Do the work you want to see done. The secret to creativity isn't waiting for inspiration. It's showing up every day, curious, open, and ready to connect the dots in your own way. We live in a world where everyone is trying to be original, but maybe the real power lies in being authentic. So, steal ideas, not to copy, but to continue the story, remix them, reshape them, and make them yours. Because in the end, we're all building on what came before. And that's not stealing, that's creating. If this video inspired you, take one idea from it and act on it today. Start that project, make that video, write that post. And remember, you don't need permission to create, just the courage to start. Like, share, and subscribe to Book 2 Better, because books don't just teach, they transform.